Welcome to the tale of Tenali Rama and the Stolen Book of Wisdom, a story from the royal court of Vijayanagara, where wit meets wisdom and Tenali Rama's cleverness turns challenges into laughter and learning. Step into a world of humor, insight, and timeless wisdom. The royal court of Vijayanagara buzzed like a beehive on a spring morning. Courtiers whispered in corners, ministers shuffled scrolls nervously, and even the palace parrots seemed unusually chatty. The cause? A calamity most curious. The book of royal wisdom had vanished. This wasn't an ordinary book. It was said to contain the distilled wisdom of kings, sages, and scholars, advice on everything from governing a kingdom to brewing perfect filter coffee. For generations, it had guided the emperors of Vijayanagara. Now it was gone, and Emperor Krishnadevaraya was not amused. He slammed his fist on the armrest of the throne. "Find the thief!" he thundered, "and bring back the book before the next full moon, or heads will roll." The courtiers trembled, except one. At the far end of the court stood Tenali Rama, his eyes twinkling like mischief itself. He bowed low. "My king," he said, "wisdom can be stolen, but it cannot be hidden. Allow me 3 days. I will find your book." The emperor, torn between fury and curiosity, agreed. Rama began not with a sword, but with a broom. He swept through the royal library, inspecting every corner. He noted a single trail of faint footprints, barefoot, light, almost dancer-like. "Interesting," he murmured. "A thief who walks softly, yet treads among scrolls. Not greed, but curiosity." He also noticed that several less important scrolls were missing. Ones about military logistics and merchant taxes. A thief who steals boring books, Tenali thought. Either a fool or a genius. The next day, Rama visited the royal scholars. They were all flustered, like hens after a hawk attack. "Who last saw the book?" Rama asked. An elderly scholar stroked his beard. "2 nights ago, we were discussing a new tax reform, and the book was on its pedestal. Then a sudden gust blew the lamp out. When we relit it, poof, it was gone." Rama smiled. A gust of wind does not steal books, unless the wind wears sandals. A scholar blinked in confusion. Rama bowed again. "Fear not, the wind has left its footprints, and I shall follow." That night, the palace celebrated the Festival of Lights. Lamps glowed across the courtyard and laughter filled the air. Rama, however, moved like a shadow among the revelers, his eyes searching, his ears sharp as a hawk's. Near the garden, he noticed something peculiar. A group of palace dancers rehearsing under the moonlight. One of them, a young dancer named Madhvi, moved like the same barefoot grace as the footprints in the library. Rama approached with a courteous bow. "Your dance is divine. Tell me, what inspires your movements?" Madhvi smiled shyly. "I practice from the Book of Royal Arts, sir. The way of posture, gesture, and expression." Rama's eyebrows arched. "And where might one find this book?" Madhvi looked nervous. "I borrowed it from the royal library. I only wanted to learn more." "Borrowed?" Rama asked softly. "Or borrowed with company?" The girl's eyes darted to the side, betraying guilt. Rama followed her gaze to a small satchel hidden behind a stolen pillar. He opened it gently, and there it was, the Book of Royal Wisdom, gleaming under the moonlight like a guilty conscience. Rama brought the book back to the court the next morning. The emperor's eyes widened with relief and anger. "So, it was a dancer who dared to steal the crown's wisdom?" Rama raised a hand. "Not a thief, Majesty, only a seeker of wisdom." The court gasped. He continued. "The girl wishes to learn the deeper meanings of art and grace. When she came to the library, she found the book open on a passage about expression and harmony. In her eagerness, she took it to study, not realizing the storm she would cause. Krishnadevaraya's face softened a little, but his pride was still wounded. "You would defend a thief, Rama?" "Only when her crime is noble," Rama replied. "For what is wisdom if it's locked away? Even a dancer may need it more than a minister." The emperor frowned, torn between justice and admiration. "Still, rules are rules." Rama smiled. "And let us make a new one. Let the book of royal wisdom not be kept behind walls, but taught to all who seek it. Wisdom grows not when guarded, but when shared." The court murmured in agreement, yet Krishnadevaraya wasn't finishing testing his jester. "Very well, Rama," he said. "If wisdom must be shared, then share some with me. What is the highest form of wisdom?" Rama thought for a moment. "The highest form of wisdom, he said slowly, "is knowing when to forgive." The emperor's lips curved into a reluctant smile. He turned to the guards. "Release the girl." The courtiers applauded. Rama bowed deeply, a glint of humor still dancing in his eyes. Later that evening, the emperor summoned Rama privately. "Tell me, Tenali," he said. "You could have returned the book on the first day. Why the delay?" Rama chuckled. "Because, Majesty, I needed 3 days not to find the book, but to teach the court something valuable." "And what is that?" "That wisdom cannot be stolen," Rama said. "It can only be misunderstood." The emperor laughed heartily. "One day, Rama, I fear you'll talk your way out of afterlife itself." Rama bowed. "If heaven charges admission, Majesty, I'll simply convince them that it's free on festival days." Both of them burst into laughter, the sound echoing through the marble halls, music of friendship between a wise king and his wiser fool. So the moral of the story is that true wisdom does not hide in books or thrones. It shines in humility, curiosity, and forgiveness. Even a king can learn from a dancer, and even a jester can restore the dignity of wisdom itself. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And for more stories like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one with another twist, another tale, and another truth. Bye bye, see you very soon.